Hi, welcome. This is Kim West, and this video is for anyone who's having moderate to severe back discomfort, issues with your SI joint. Maybe you're recovering from an injury and you can't do anything really strong, and you need to be very careful with your body. So there's two things that we'll focus on for this exercise. One is your breathing. Super important to use your diaphragm when you breathe to help the body reorganize and heal. The second is to stabilize around the spine in a way where you're using your breath. It's not a grip kind of feeling, and it's more of an internal gentle support. You're not using a lot of big muscles to do the movement. Okay, so we'll start with the breathing. So you can sit, and you want to sit in a way where your hips aren't going to work really hard. So if you're up on your, with crossed legs, you might feel like your back rolls back and your hips are tight. So you may need to sit up onto something so that your hips have a little more space. Or like for me, I'm just dangling my legs off of this table here. So take a moment just to kind of move side to side and feel centered and connected to the ground. You might close your eyes for a moment and take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Okay. Now feel your lower body heavy into the floor. Feel your spine light but tall. And then start to breathe into the lower part of your lungs. So if you want to, you can bring your hands to the lower part of your rib cage just to sense movement there. Breathe down into those parts of your lungs and your ribs. And then you might do the same with the sides. So you give yourself a little hug and put the hands on the sides of your ribs and breathe sideways into your hands. Take your time with the inhale and also take your time to exhale. There's no rush. The breath doesn't need to be really big or dramatic. But you do want to take time. Feel the expansion of the ribs as you inhale. And the softening and drawing in as you exhale. Now finally, you do the same with the back of your body. So you might put one hand behind your back, just so you can sense a little bit of movement back there. It might be less obvious. You're just above your kidneys here, and breathe into your back body. And this is allowing your diaphragm to move in all directions. This is a muscle that needs to be toned. And toning also means that it needs to know how to fully relax as well as fully engage. Take a couple more here, breathing into the back of your body. If your hand doesn't go there comfortably, don't worry. Just put your arm down and just think of breathing into that space. Or you could sit up against a wall where you feel contact into that part of your back. One more breath. Long, slow exhale. So when you're recovering from an injury or just life stuff that's accumulated and the back feels sensitive, the first place to start is with the breath. Taking the breath out of the chest and the shoulders and really letting the shoulders relax and the breath move down into the body, right? So that was step one that we just did. Step two, if you're up for it, you might need to do this step one breath exercise for a week or several weeks. But if you're ready to do the second part, that would be grabbing any kind of prop. So I just happen to have like a yoga block, a small ball. The ball's really nice and comfortable. You could also use a rolled up towel or blanket. It really doesn't matter, a pillow, just something comfortable. and you're gonna place your hips on top of it. So I'm gonna place the ball underneath my sacrum. So it's below my lower back and my pelvis is resting on the ball, and it should feel very comfortable. If it doesn't, it might be the ball needs to go a little lower. So take a moment to get situated there, and you might just place your hands on your hip bones. And again, return to your breath. So be aware of your breath moving in and out. And feel the expansion of the belly as you inhale, and the softening and dropping as you complete your exhale all the way to the end. Do a few more rounds. Expand in all directions, and then completely empty your lungs. So taking the exhale maybe a little longer than you're used to. As this is happening, feel your shoulders, your neck, and your jaw relax. You might move the head a bit side to side. Continue with your breathing. Long exhale. And although it's obvious that your belly is expanding on the inhale, think of your back ribs expanding on the inhale too. And then everything draws into the center like a gentle corset coming in from all sides to wrap around your spine. 2 more together. Inhale fully in all directions. Exhale completely. Belly softens into your spine. 1 more time. Full inhale, all directions. The slowest exhale that you can do. Now keep your hands on your belly. Try not to breathe in quite yet. Notice how there's stillness and the belly's drawing in. You might feel the low belly engaging here. Keep the low belly like halfway engaged and start to breathe just normally. And notice that every time you exhale, you have the opportunity to draw the abdominals up and in. And this is where you're going to train yourself to support the lower back and create that strength in the abdominals. By the way, we're strengthening the deepest layer of abdominals, which wraps around your entire spine. So they're actually in your back as well. So bring your feet pretty close together, not touching, but really close. Maybe a couple inches between the feet and the knees. Come back to your exhale. So take that long, slow exhale. Feel the belly draw in. Keep the belly drawing in, and without the hips moving, float your knee towards your chest into this tabletop shape. So the knee is right over the hip. It's not coming in really far. And then inhale as you lower the foot all the way to the mat. Notice if your hips readjust when you come back down. Keep them as level as possible. Find your slow exhale. Draw the belly in, and then the other knee floats in. Try to keep the hips level. Relax the chest, relax the neck and shoulders, and breathe as the leg comes back down. Notice if there's an adjustment. So we're trying to keep the hips as quiet as we can. That's the whole point. That's where the real support and power is. So we'll go again. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Then about the end of your exhale, let the knee come in. Now, if your hip flexors are really gripping, you might just let your shin relax down. It doesn't need to be lifting up. It's not that important. And now we're going to keep this leg here, and every time we exhale, we let the toe come down towards the mat. It might touch, it might not. And then we inhale, float it back in. Doesn't look like very much, but you're stabilizing a lot in the middle of your body. Exhale as the foot lowers. Inhale, float it in. Exhale to lower. Inhale, float in. The further away your leg goes, the more challenge, the more load or weight for your abdominals to hold on to. So you decide what works for you today. One more time, exhale to lower. Inhale, float in. And this time, let's exhale to lower the foot all the way down onto the mat. Take a moment there. Notice the hips. You might move them around a little bit just to readjust. Come back to center. Exhale first. Keep the hips level as the knee floats in. Shin can be down or it can be parallel to the floor. You decide. Exhale to lower halfway or all the way. Use that exhale. Inhale, float in. Exhale, lower. Keep the other leg aligned, so try to make sure the standing leg isn't kind of falling out to the side, but it's staying parallel and aligned. Exhale to lower, inhale to float in. Exhale to lower. Inhale to float in. And then pause here. So that might have been enough for you today. But if you're wanting to go up a little bit more in the level of strength, then you can add the second leg. But you need to make sure that you take that very clear exhale first. So exhale all the air out. Draw the abdominals in, stabilize in your pelvis, then you can let the second leg come in. If that was too much and you went quickly, you kind of like jerked the leg up, or you felt your hip, or you felt your lower back, you're not ready for that quite yet, but you'll get there. So again, I want to drop the tummy. I can even think of closing the front ribs. Now that I've got more weight, I need to really contain the front of the body. Every time I exhale, that's when the foot comes down, halfway or all the way. Inhale, float in. Exhale as I lower the other leg. Inhale, floating in. Exhale, second leg. Inhale, lower. Inhale, float in. Let's do one more each side. Exhale to lower. Inhale, float in. And exhale to lower. Draw the tummy in. Inhale, float in. Bring your arms down by your sides. One foot gently comes down all the way to the mat. The other foot joins it in your back at the start. Feel the feet relax onto the mat. You might take the feet a little wider than your hips and just let your knees and hips rock gently side to side. Not your biggest twist ever. Actually, you're going pretty small, and you're just taking some nice, slow, and gentle breaths. So if you were ready to go for more, you could do more load with the legs. But for now, as you're rehabbing, whether that's from an injury, a surgery, or just life circumstance that's created some tension or weakness in your back, that's a great place to start. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.